Earlier this year we tested the all-new BMW R1300 GS, and after what seems like an eternity, now we have the R1300 GS Adventure. It's got a bigger fuel tank, increased suspension travel, and a heap of cool features fitted as standard. And it begs the question, is this the greatest adventure bike ever made? But before we continue, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content, and join the conversation below and let us know what your favourite adventure bike is. All right, let's get going. The new R1300 GS Adventure, or GSA for short, arrives hot on the heels of its standard sibling, which debuted earlier in 2024. The bare bones GSA starts at around 30k, but our press unit as tested here in triple black is priced at over 38,500 with the new automatic shift and adaptive ride height functions. And that's before on-road costs. Expensive, yes, but greatness does come at a price, and the new GSA might just be the greatest of them all. Competitors like KTM, Ducati, Triumph, and even Harley-Davidson have made plenty of ground in recent years, but the new 1300 platform, and the GSA in particular, should help renew BMW's claim as the globe-trotting king of the motorcycle world. The standard GS is a great bike, and you can watch our video review on that for more info, but this new R1300 GS Adventure might be one of the most well-rounded adventure bikes we've ever seen. Of course, you probably know the drill by now. It's got a bigger 30-litre fuel tank, increased suspension travel front and rear, and a lot of optional features now fitted as standard. It's also got a new divisive look with this kind of boxy front end, which personally I really like. The new GSA also debuts BMW's automatic shift assistant, which at a basic level turns the bike into an automatic. That means no clutch lever, but the gear shift pedal does remain, allowing you to choose between fully automatic or clutchless manual shifting. Not everyone's going to love it, but fortunately it is optional, and I'll tell you how it performs a little later in the video. The GSA is also primed for long distance travel with more luggage points than you can poke a stick at. The rear luggage rack can accommodate side panniers and also a top box, and it's got these ports for central lock-in. And the new bodywork allows for other storage options like these side bags which are mounted to the side of the tank. I've actually seen one of these fully loaded to the brim with bags, and to be honest, you could just about fit a house in them. Of course, the world conquering luxury continues with heated grips and seats as standard, a tall electronically adjustable windshield as standard, a smartphone compartment, and a GPS holder which is compatible with BMW's own unit, or even aftermarket products like this Chiggy display. If there's one area where the old 1250 model was falling behind just a little bit, it was in the tech department, but there's no such worries here because this bike literally has everything. As is common with BMW, not everything is standard, but as tested, our bike is fitted with things like active cruise control, blind spot and front collision detection, a quick shifter, all the ride modes, electronic suspension, and of course the aforementioned automatic shifting. And that's just scratching the surface. On paper, the new GSA is very well equipped and seemingly ready for any adventure, but it's also a very big bike and just a little intimidating. So how does it go out on the road and also on the dirt? Let's saddle up and find out. One thing that's always amazed me about the GSA is how the weight just disappears once you're moving, and this new bike is no different. Seriously, it just feels so light and agile for its size. It's quite incredible, really. And the updated Boxer engine is another cracker from BMW, and while it is a dual sport bike, it's hard not to have a cheeky grin as you tear through twisty tarmac roads. The automatic shifting is contentious, but to be honest, I really don't mind it. It does a pretty good job of shifting at the right moments, and after a while you kind of just forget about it. And by removing the need to physically use the clutch lever or the gear lever, it simplifies the whole process, and it actually allows you to focus more on cornering and body positioning, which is actually a lot of fun. It goes without saying, but the GSA is also supremely comfortable. The seating position is spot on, the wind protection is great, and the adaptive ride height means you can get your feet to the ground when you come to a stop. But as good as the GSA is on the road, it can't be a truly great adventure bike without some off-road ability. And yep, you guessed it, it has that in spades. I'm not really sure why, but this engine and chassis just works so well in off-road scenarios, even despite how big and intimidating the bike is. You know, I've had this bike in all sorts of terrain, loose gravel, mud, deep sand, and every single time it ticks the box. Of course, the 21-inch front wheel would be nice, but that's really the only thing lacking, and to be honest, it does fine without it.
The electronic suspension is brilliant and it adapts to any situation.
Even big potholes, logs and ruts don't seem to faze the big GSA. There is a surprising degree of front-end control while the whole bike just feels balanced front to rear. Surprisingly, the automatic transmission works very well on firm dirt too, although I did find it started to struggle just a little in deep sand and mud.
I'm blown away by how capable the GSA is, but I do have one small concern, and it's kind of related to all new motorcycles, not just BMW. And it really is my only concern, and that's that with all this fancy new technology, you got to wonder what happens when it fails out in a remote location. You know, we ride these bikes in places that you wouldn't take other motorcycles. You know, we're out in the desert, the high country, places where you don't have access to mechanics and support from OEMs, and to be stranded out in the bush because of a flat battery in your key or because the automatic shifting system fails, that is a little bit of a worry.
Of course, as with any new model test, it's impossible to predict what reliability issues might arise down the track, but it must be said that BMW, generally speaking, has a good track record. So, what does make a great adventure bike? Well, everyone will have a different answer, but most people will agree it should be comfortable, capable and practical for long distances. And the new GSA ticks all those boxes with ease. Without a proper comparison test, it's impossible to say whether the GSA is better on the dirt than the KTM or better on the tarmac than the Ducati. But in time, I think this bike will be remembered as one of the best all-round adventure bikes, if not the best.